Here's a heartbreaking reality check. We just discovered a brand new species of Australian marsupial, and it's probably already gone forever. Imagine finding a treasure chest, only to realize it's been empty for decades. That's essentially what happened when scientists recently uncovered evidence of a previously unknown marsupial species in the Australian bush. This isn't just another academic discovery tucked away in dusty research papers. This is a wake-up call about how much we're losing before we even know it exists. The story begins in the caves of the Nullarbor region and southwestern Australia, where researchers from Curtin University, the Western Australian Museum and Murdoch University were sifting through ancient fossils. What they found was extraordinary. Not just one, but three previously unknown varieties of a small kangaroo-like marsupial called a bettong, also known by the indigenous Noongar name Woylie. But here's where it gets controversial. By the time we're naming these creatures, they've likely been extinct for who knows how long. Let me paint you a picture of what we're talking about here. Woylies are essentially the unsung heroes of the Australian ecosystem. These adorable rabbit-sized relatives of kangaroos are what scientists call ecosystem engineers. Every single year, one woylie can flip over several tons of soil while hunting for their favorite delicacy, underground mushrooms. Think of them as nature's tiny bulldozers, constantly reshaping and aerating the earth in ways that benefit countless other species. The research team, led by PhD student Jake Newman-Martin from Curtin's School of Molecular and Life Sciences, made their groundbreaking discoveries by meticulously measuring fossilized skulls and bones. Their findings, published in the scientific journal Zootaxa, officially introduced the world to Bettongia haoucharae, the scientific name for this newly recognized species from the Nullarbor region. These critically endangered marsupials have been the focus of conservation efforts for decades, Newman-Martin explained. In this new research, we've named a completely new species based on fossil material, and two new subspecies of woylies for the first time. Sadly, many of them have become extinct before we've even been aware of them. And this is the part most people miss. The discovery actually provides hope for the woylies that are still hanging on. The research revealed that what scientists previously thought was one species of woylie is actually two distinct subspecies. This distinction isn't just academic hair-splitting. It's crucial information for conservationists who are desperately trying to save these creatures from total extinction. Woylies have earned the unfortunate distinction of being Australia's most frequently relocated mammal. Not because they're wanderers, but because conservationists are constantly moving them around in increasingly desperate attempts to establish stable populations. These little marsupials are so critically endangered that every individual matters, and understanding their genetic diversity could be the key to their survival. Dr. Kenny Trevelyan, curator of terrestrial zoology at the Western Australian Museum and co-author of the study, emphasized the importance of combining fossil analysis with modern genetic techniques. What we found through this research tells us that examining fossils alongside genetic tools could offer significant insights that may help conservation efforts of this critically endangered native species, he noted. The research team examined specimens housed in museums across the globe, from the Western Australian Museum to the Natural History Museum in London and Oxford University Museum of Natural History. This international collaboration highlights just how scattered and precious these remaining specimens have become. Here's something that should make us all pause and think. The researchers are planning to work with indigenous communities to develop a more appropriate collaborative name for the newly described species, recognizing that woylie itself comes from the Noongar language. This gesture acknowledges not just scientific discovery, but the deep connection indigenous Australians have always had with these creatures. But let me ask you this, and this is where it gets really controversial. Are we discovering these species just in time to write their obituaries? How many more ghost species are we going to uncover from fossil records, knowing full well that our chance to save them vanished years or decades ago? The timing of this discovery raises uncomfortable questions about our approach to conservation. We're living through what many scientists call the sixth mass extinction, yet we're still finding new species in museum drawers and cave floors. It makes you wonder, what if we had the technology and awareness we have today, back when these creatures were still roaming the Australian bush? The Woylie story is simultaneously a celebration of scientific discovery and a sobering reminder of what we've lost. These ecosystem engineers were quietly working to maintain the health of Australian landscapes long before European settlement, and their disappearance represents a fundamental change in how these ecosystems function. What's particularly striking is that this research demonstrates how much we still don't know about Australia's native wildlife. If researchers can find 3 previously unknown varieties of a relatively well-studied mammal, imagine what other species might be lurking in museum collections, waiting to be properly identified and classified. The implications extend far beyond academic curiosity. Understanding the true diversity of woylies, both extinct and surviving, provides conservationists with better tools for breeding programs and habitat management. When you're working with critically endangered species, every piece of genetic and taxonomic information can mean the difference between recovery and extinction. So here's my challenge to you. This discovery should spark some serious soul-searching about our relationship with the natural world. Are we moving fast enough to identify and protect species before they vanish? Are we investing enough resources in the unglamorous but essential work of taxonomic research? What do you think? Should we be celebrating these scientific discoveries? Or should we be outraged that we're finding species only after it's too late to save them? Is this a testament to scientific progress, or a damning indictment of our conservation failures? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Do you think we're doing enough to protect species like the woylie? Or are discoveries like this just elaborate exercises in documenting what we've already lost? And more importantly, what can we actually do to prevent future discoveries from becoming posthumous obituaries?